All right.
All right.
It is Fire Drill Friday.
That's right. It's Fire Drill Friday. And today I get to be woefully outnumbered by these two amazing gentlemen, Mr. Rick Davis and Cory Turner.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
We are 100% Wayne free.
We are Wayne free. Wayne free. Oh my goodness. What kind of mess can we make?
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's right. Don't tempt us.
Yeah, and hopefully we didn't run out of all the good stuff before we actually got on the air.
I gotta
Hopefully
say
not.
the pre-show was hilarious.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Pre-show was good. Pre-show was good, and we broke a camera. So
that's
here
it.
we are.
So you need to
Yeah.
be part of the studio audience to really
Absolutely,
appreciate
yes.
the full
I think we
effect.
could fit about
In
4
downtown
people in there.
Burbank.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Cue the applause track.
Yes, yes. How is everyone this morning?
Well, I am still getting over the output of energy that is required at a 500-person event.
Oh my goodness. Is that how many people were there?
Yeah.
It was huge.
Because there was 225 of the awards went out.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
So, and then there was the plus ones of the world.
Yes.
Well, I loved
Yes.
it because suddenly, like, my feed just blew up. You know, and it was all these people celebrating. They all look great, and I'm like, I know Rick is doing a ton of work tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Brutal.
Yes.
And
You
thankfully
probably covered
now,
what 20 miles running around.
Dude, I got my
Easily.
steps in.
Oh, for sure.
For like the month.
For sure. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Lexus Club, super cool.
So cool.
And
Beautiful venue.
the ballpark, where's that? No, that's Globe Life Field.
Globe
That's
Life.
what- yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Globe Life.
and I'm not a baseball guy.
Yeah.
And I've only actually been to one Rangers game in my life, and it was
Okay.
the first game after 9/11.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
And
that
it-
was a choice.
Yeah. Well, the reason being was I'm kind of you may have noticed I'm somewhat of a contrarian.
A little bit. A little bit. Cantankerous is my new word for
There
my
we
husband.
go. I like that.
I love
Cantankerous,
it.
right?
I wholeheartedly accept
Yes.
that.
Rick's
Yes.
pictures in the
Designation.
dictionary.
Yes.
It's
there.
good.
The
It's good.
encyclopedia when you look him
But
up.
back, everybody remembers 9/11, but the whole thing where they were saying, don't go to the public things or whatever. It's
Oh,
a target.
right,
it's
right,
a
right,
target.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I will never go to a baseball game on my own. But the minute you tell me that don't go, I'm like, I'm
enough.
in. I'm in. And I went with a friend, and it was like this cool, crazy, like patriot. It was like all the stuff that I have those like snapshot memories of as a kid,
Sure.
where like
Right,
baseball was America, apple pie, what America's pastime, all that stuff. They did the flyover and the however many tens of whatever.
Yeah.
Sold out, standing room only.
Sure.
The national anthem. I don't remember who they played. I don't remember anything about
Right.
that. But it was just
That
like this
didn't matter.
thing. And it was like, I have those little things where it's like, I will never do this again, but this seems like if you're going to do it.
That was the
I was
time.
going to say, don't go back because it may not live up to the
Right.
expectations you have in your
Right.
head.
Oh my goodness.
Baseball games are amazing.
yeah, you're like, wow, baseball's
This
like,
is cool.
This was like an altar call or something where
They
it's like,
really go
I
all
felt
out.
it. Yeah.
America's game, I get it.
Yeah. And then you go back and you're like, wow, this isn't anything like I remember.
They
and
just
then
play
same
ball?
thing. I did the same thing with concerts though.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth, the reunion tour with Van
Wow.
Halen at
David
American
Lee
Airlines
Roth.
Center. It was like, it was also Eddie Van Halen's birthday
Wow.
that night. And so it was like icon of my youth, the reunion that I never thought would have happened. And it's
Yeah.
Eddie's birthday. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of done with concerts. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is good.
I have a little bit of a problem with concerts because I listen to their music and I'm so into it. Then I want to go and I want to see them and I experience them. And then about 3 songs in, I'm like, okay,
That was good. Yeah.
I'm good. I saw you. I got to experience it. I know all the songs.
It
so
cost
I'm
me
like,
$1,200 to see
yeah,
you,
this
but
was a really
yes.
expensive seat.
So now that you say, so one of the things that I love about, let's just say our 50s is that I now have the ability to go somewhere and be like you said, 30 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I think I got all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good.
good. I'm good. Well, that's what was nice about last night. Like, shout out to RP because you start the events at 4, and then
Yes.
I'm home and in bed after wearing a fun cocktail dress. I'm in my pajamas by 6:30.
Yeah, y'all
Yeah.
were dressed up.
How
I was
amazing is that?
I was
It
the
was fun.
crew.
It was fun. Yeah, I mean,
He was putting away cameras at about 8:30.
your crew did an amazing job, and Miranda was fabulous. It was great.
Yes.
Great.
It was so good.
Yeah, it
Shout
was
out
so
to
fun.
Miranda. It was
Yes.
so good to have because like she kind of exists over there in Studio West
Yeah.
in the
Right.
Bat Cave sort
Yes,
of.
yes.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because you don't even let her come out of the room.
No, keep her in
no,
the
the
studio. shut the
tether
door.
is like the ankle tether is like it's
She can get to the mini fridge for water.
Yeah,
it.
and then she has to have a hall monitor to go to the restroom.
Yes, the rest of the way.
But I literally did say like, so have you done shot events before? Have you done that thing? Because like some
Were
people
you like, oh, by the way, as you walked in and gave her a camera, like, have you done this? Yeah, okay.
It's kind of how these shows work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, and that's a lot like this. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so what are we talking? Oh, stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah,
that was like me today. I'm like, we're going to talk about, we'll see.
yeah. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
For me, that's part of the fun. And so the whole thing of going live for me, one, obviously the algorithm or whatever prefers that.
Right.
Because if we just A/B the East
Yeah.
and West women's show, going live over there versus almost live, semi-live.
Yeah. Kind of
Whatever we did on Wednesday.
Yeah, whatever
Like
that
the
was.
crossover?
Yeah, the crossover.
you guys were live. Everybody else saw it later, right? Is that kind
Something
of
like that.
Something like
Something
that. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, what did they used to say? Like film live before a studio audience.
Yes.
Like Three's
Yes.
Company.
Yes, that's right.
They did.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
we
9
should,
hours.
We should introduce our guest formally.
Oh yes, there you go.
We have.
that's me.
That's you. That's
Yeah,
you.
All right.
We have Cory Turner,
Yes.
social media coach,
Yes.
writer, director, producer, like our own little Mr. Hollywood here.
I know, right?
I hear you've got like 2 horror movies out there on IDMB.
I actually do. They're
Okay.
distributed around the world. They were throwbacks to the 70s drive-in horror movies that I grew up loving.
I have to find them.
Well, I tell people you can't watch them. You won't respect me in the morning.
That's
because
okay.
they're just cheesy and silly.
I love it.
Did an amazing children's DVD called Mr. Heath, which was musical that was in the Dallas area. And then, you know, all that's nice. But when I tell people I was a cameraman on a show called Cheaters for a
Okay.
little while, that's when things...
So
I suddenly become really popular all of a sudden. I'm like, wait, okay, that's pretty cool.
So we didn't find an episode, your episodes on Cheaters.
Right. And I always tell people, I wasn't on Cheaters. I worked on Cheaters. It's
Right,
like
right,
two
right.
totally
Yeah.
different.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
good clarification.
Two different
But
entries on the IMDb or the resume.
That's
let
exactly
me just
right.
tell you, Alan had to try to go find it on Hulu or whatever it's on.
Okay.
And we watched about 30 seconds and he and I both were like, whoa, these people are nuts.
Yes,
So we
yes.
never saw you, but like, did
And
you
as
get...
a good cameraman, I try not to be, but there was a few times I ended up on there. One day I got there late.
like
and
those people get angry.
They get really upset. I
I
had
mean,
a lady.
fair.
I had a lady chasing me down a hallway in an apartment complex, and I was running backwards, and I was like, "How long is this hallway? Because we've been running a long time. But if I stop, she'd
Yeah.
have hurt me pretty
Yeah.
good. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Wow.
Okay, so now I have to, as a lifelong fan of pro wrestling, I have to know, like, is Cheaters fake?
So I may have signed a lot of paperwork where I may not be able to talk
Oh,
about
so you
much.
not
But
confirm nor deny.
I will say, when you're in the heat of the moment, they didn't really, as far as the cameraman, everything was, we would go in, we would sit in a studio like this. They would say, hey, this is the cheater. This, Cory, this is going to be your camera 4. You're going to chase that guy. And then we would get in vans, roll into like, I can't remember, Purgatory was a big 3-story club down in Dallas. And we would just crash
Purgatory?
in there.
I don't
And
remember that one.
and there was I remember one time we were rushing in there and everything was fine until the DJ goes, cheaters in the house. And then I think everybody thinks we're live. And they're grabbing the camera, saying hi to mom, and I'm like, "We're recording this," you know. So it was crazy. So,
Oh, I don't...
Wow.
but I will say, I got into some crazy intense situations.
I imagine
that was,
so.
Yeah, it got spooky a few times.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But I do like wrestling too. So
He's speechless.
there you go.
I think he's speechless.
Well, I'm trying to think of the era that. So
So I
wrestling
was
fan?
2005. Like Joey Greco was the host at that time, and it was really, I think that's when it was really in its prime. It was that guilty pleasure. At
So was
2
that like a
o'clock in the morning.
syndicated show, like a
Yeah.
like a Cops or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it doesn't matter where I go, and almost country-wise too. If that comes up, it's like, oh, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, I'd heard of it. I had never watched it, and that little moment in time was interesting.
Yeah. And I understand they're rebooting it right now. So they're
Oh,
working
no.
on
That
it.
makes
So-
sense. Although, I mean, there's plenty of that on the, like nowadays, the internet thing, it's like you'll have some 17-year-old out there and they
Yeah.
stop
Yes.
random people.
Yes.
And you can literally just see the guy
do it on
or the
your own.
girl, like they're just life force drains when they
Yes.
realize, like, oh.
This
Yes.
is
And
not good.
But it's not a surprise attack. It's like people get in today's world, it's like, oh, I'm on social media. Oh, we're on camera.
let's
Doesn't
do it.
matter
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Oh,
Let's yeah.
this feels just like the Catholic confessional.
Yes.
Let me,
Like, here
let
we
me
go. You know what's funny though? It helped me because of course teaching video to people. Everybody has this expectations of perfection and they put it on themselves and it has to be all this way. Shooting that show taught me just go. Like
Yeah.
I can go anywhere and just start filming and I don't care what anybody thinks or what they're looking at. And I realized that maybe a few seconds of being embarrassed because you're taking a video is a lifetime of footage memories or something you can use. And so that show helped me realize just push past that.
Yeah.
And you just go, you know?
And
Yes.
now, as a social media coach,
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit about that.
So what I do is I help people harness video to really promote their business, build their business. I work with salespeople, small businesses, a lot of real estate agents, really heavy in the real estate agents.
Because we love to see ourselves on camera.
Right. Well, marketing and sales comes from the top down. Like we just bombard people with sales stuff. Well, in this process, it grows from the ground up. And so what you're doing is you're developing your database of people, you're connecting with them, and then you're using these billion-dollar algorithms that are designed to make these companies billions of dollars, and you're harnessing the power of that to get you into places you would never get to, people you would never connect with, just by using and utilizing social media video. So it's super exciting, but it's not just about teaching people how to be on camera and how to talk and what to say. I have learned it's this mental block people have.
Yeah.
It's that whatever triggers that internal fear that they're like, when that red light goes on, they just shut off. So we're having to work through. And of course, that's what you do, right? Like a lot of your business coaching is developing a quick, smart plan, stay to the small details, execute those great.
Exactly.
And then what you can produce, like people are holding themselves back if they're not.
Yeah, one of the reasons I loved this little team up, like we're like the Avengers, or like but we didn't fight at first. So like normally like the Hulk and Iron Man meet and they fight. And and they figure out they're cool.
I do love the Avengers.
I didn't have to lose to get in the group, so that made me very happy.
Yes.
That was
who's your favorite Avenger?
Captain America.
Oh, I'm Robert Downey Jr. I'm just Robert Downey Jr. I don't know
not
who
even
he
Iron
is,
Man. You're like, but Robert Downey Jr. Whatever he plays.
Yes, whatever he does.
I like Captain America too. He's pretty cool.
He's cool.
He's aspirational.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I could more identify with Robert Downey Jr. minus the weapons manufacturer, billionaire,
all the fancy toys.
Right.
Yeah,
but y'all are like this.
There's just a billion reasons why I'm not quite the same, but I'm close.
But the whole like degenerate, lecherous, drunk part, got it.
Perfect.
I am totally in.
Well, if you're gonna aspire, you pick the fun side, I guess.
You know, we all like different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
I don't even know where we were going.
But
with
I will
that.
say, like, this is kind of it's just like social media is organic, right? And so we met Rick. We've known each other for a long time, and then Michelle and I, we starting to realize like we really. What we bring to people complement each other.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So well. That goes back to the team up. That goes back to the
are.
original Avengers team up.
Yes.
That's it.
The idea of, first off, the consistency and suit up and show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, and I basically, what I teach my guys and what I teach the gals too now, you're woefully outnumbered. Now I have.
Woefully.
Yes.
Woefully
but on my team, it's about 50-50. And so what I teach them is suit up and show up is the most critical thing because
Absolutely.
most people won't.
Absolutely.
Or at the very least, most people won't over time.
Yeah.
And so where y'all two, the Venn diagrams overlap is you're all about the blocking and tackling. And then it's like, okay, let's schedule this, let's do this, let's be mindful, let's be intentional, etc. And then Cory comes in with okay, you don't have to hire Spielberg or Universal Studios to actually start.
Right.
And then it's the starting part, and then like
That's
what Cory
the
was saying,
hardest part.
Absolutely.
Figuring out and getting over whatever is it nature, nurture, whatever, where everybody feels like, oh, I can't do that, or that's not for me. And so I was telling Cory earlier, so I'm about to. So Andrea Miller, shout out to Andrea Miller.
Hey, she's amazing.
One of my absolute top shelf super clients, rock star. Well, we're going to teach this class on. She's basically done, I don't know, probably done close to 100 listings for her, and she's been consistent with the same formula every time. On camera now, she looks like, she just rolls out of bed and just like goes and makes a video. But I've got, so if the video is 2.5 minutes long, I've got like a 7-minute blooper reel that I'm currently carving into bite-sized chunks just to show. It's like, okay, first we'll show basically like the menu photo.
Yes.
Oh, like here you go. And then here's how the sausage was made.
Yeah.
And you just,
welcome to the kitchen.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
It's like, wash
Nobody
your hands.
sees that. Yeah.
Wash your hands.
And maybe your shoes, because it's a mess in here.
And nobody sees that, and everybody sees the finished product. And we've kind of been, and Cory can speak to this, where we've been kind of conditioned to where everything's fabulous.
Yes.
Right.
It's only the highlight reel.
And it's so, it's absolutely true. Like we even talk about reality TV. It's bullet pointed instead of scripted. Like you have a scripted show, it's scripted. A reality TV show is still bullet pointed. You have things you want to hit. And I think everybody has this misconception that they should be able to look perfect. And if they don't, they're not going to do it. I can do it now, but it's just because of muscle memory. I've done it so much that talking to you or talking on camera, I've trained my brain that camera is just my best friend and we're just going to have a conversation. And so that has helped me get there. But people had to help me get there.
Well, and you don't even notice the camera now. Like
I don't.
Like here now.
Yeah,
we're just hanging out.
Hanging out. Like you go
like
back
I
to
broke
the first
a camera
shows.
earlier,
You did. We'll talk about that later.
I really didn't notice that one was there. Sorry about that.
Well, so the other, like, it becomes math. You
Yes.
know? The first time you do something, everybody sucks. You
Yes.
know?
Yep. Yes.
And then third time
And-
isn't as bad as the first.
But no one knows how bad you suck except for you. Like no one's is paying as much attention to you
Right.
as you are. Like
Right.
when you're standing up and you're speaking and different things like that, every time you mess up, not everyone's noticing that. It's
No,
just you.
and a perfect case in point is constantly Michelle's like, how did you let my hair do this?
That's no. That's a different story. There's no case in point there.
Did no one notice that? But you know what's
He
funny?
will do you dirty.
Oh yeah, thanks.
I'm the king of like.
Why are
"That
we
looks
just shooting
good.
outtake
Looks-"
reels here, Rick? Why are we doing the laugh track part?
Hair's all sticking up in the back, the
Yeah.
big hole. Like, come on now.
What you said, I was like,
us
I
up.
don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm calling the ex-wives now. I get it.
You're so right though when you were talking about the only person that knows the script is you.
Right.
So if you don't say it right, it's okay. They
Right.
have no idea.
No
Amen.
idea.
No idea.
Because
And
they're
I-
not listening anyway half the time.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Not as intently.
Not like you.
not like you are.
They usually are not
Yeah.
listening to judge. The only people that listen to judge us is us.
Yes.
Like most people are
Right.
just listening. Right.
They're just trying to get the information that we came to give them.
That's exactly right.
Yes. Or be entertained.
And
in
I
this
think
case.
people think they have to have this huge audience and this huge following. And people just looked at me shocked when I'm like, I get 1 million to 5 million views per month. I make, anywhere from $80 to $2,000 a month on these social media platforms. And yet you had no idea who I was when I walked in most of the time, these people. So I'm like, this is not becoming an influencer with 5 million followers.
Yeah, wow.
This is about harnessing your database of people that already love you and then teaching the algorithm to find more people that match that criteria that are going to love you too.
Yes, and the thing there that you're hitting on for the individual is the authenticity.
Absolutely.
Because if you get 5 million views doing some shit that you hate, good luck.
Yeah, right.
You know?
And
Yeah.
exactly. And then it's horrible.
Well, and then now that's who you are, and that's what you got to do. So it's like,
Yeah.
how much stamina do you have to be fake?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're in that
Right.
dilemma part. And then you're like, man, how
And
do
then-
I do anything with this?
And you got to keep going all the time.
Yeah.
But then
Yes.
here's where I come in. You're growing their following. You're teaching them how to know, like, and trust.
Yes.
Let's put them in the database. And what we know is once you've created a relationship with them, 6% of that database is going to convert.
Yes.
And if you've only got 100 people who know, like, and trust you, well, that still equates to about, I think we did the math and it's about $65,000.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
No.
So you just need a few people. You don't need 5 million.
Right.
And
So-
then you lather,
That's
rinse, repeat.
That's
Ab-
exactly right.
Lather, rinse, repeat. Yes, exactly.
And then when
So-
you build that business that way and it's organic and it's growth, that's the business that sticks.
Yeah.
That's the business that's not stolen away when someone has a new fancy pencil or item.
And you enjoy it.
And you love it.
And
you're
it's
working with
people
friends.
you
That's
enjoy.
that's
That's
the
the
operating
key.
principle.
Yep.
Because then you can keep doing it as long as you're breathing because that's who you really are.
Yes. It is funny because the platforms, I describe them like this. Facebook is like, I had you guys over for dinner and we're hanging out and we're just friends and we're having a good time and I love it. And Instagram's like we went to a coffee shop for about 20 minutes and had a good time. Now, TikTok, I'm like, you're driving down the street and you're waving like, hey, Michelle. That's the way it is. But all of that still is hanging out with friends. And what is the best part of being to have a job where you just hang out with friends?
Absolutely. That's why we're self-employed. We don't want to go to like a 9 to 5.
And that's why it's so funny because I joke every week with Wayne. I'm like, we'll have something on and it'll be like this super intense, like nutrient dense conversation. And everybody's like, dude, and I'm like, yeah. So if you really just want like high quality friends, just build a studio and have a show.
That's it. That's
and then sometimes you talk about aliens.
Yes. Now, don't get me started on that. Aliens and wrestling could
Take up the rest
that's
of
its
the
own
episode.
show?
Yes.
that could be open ended from now until 2029. Easily.
And the graphics that come with that are
back
so
and
fun.
forth. Usually with my kids, like we'll get into wrestling and then it'll kind of fade and come back and forth.
I'm a old school guy. I mean, it's like, I'll
like
watch
Ric Flair. And
There you
Yes.
go.
There you go. Okay.
Yes.
You kind of
Von Erichs,
Yeah,
come on
the
now.
Von
Oh,
Erichs.
did you see
okay,
the
very
movie?
good.
No.
I heard it was
No.
really, really sad. Like
Yeah.
well
That's
done,
the
but
thing.
extremely sad.
That's the thing.
So,
I'm in this weird place where I just try not to watch too much sad.
yeah.
Dude.
You know, it's weird.
Of
I
course.
just
No, I
trying to
get it.
protect that energy.
Yeah.
It's like you've been reading my mail.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
somebody
you
says
just,
like, "Oh, it was so good, it was so intense." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that goes on the list of shit I'll never watch."
Yes.
I know, like,
Yes.
oh, it's a tearjerker. I'm like, I can't do that right now.
No
Yeah.
thanks.
No, I don't need that in my life.
I d-
I mean,
right.
goodness gracious, there's so much of it.
Well, like you, right? Most of the time with our clients, it's getting them back to zero.
Yeah.
They have dug this hole of negativity, and I can't do it, and this isn't going to work, and
The
everybody
market
says I'm stupid,
sucks,
the market's
interest rates are
terrible.
high.
Yeah, all this. So it's like you spend all this time to get them to zero, and then you want to start growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to overcome the negativity bias, which we're kind of
There's so
programmed with
much.
us
Yeah.
from the Darwinian sense.
Yes.
Like if you think everything is a tiger in the bushes, you won't get eaten by the tiger in the bushes.
That's not there.
But
Yeah.
when you're in the Kroger, that's not really a handy thing to have in your mind. But people
Don't-
get stuck there.
Yeah.
Don't spend energy preparing for something that might happen. Learn how to invest in yourself so that if something bad happens, you trust that you'll be able to take care of that
Absolutely.
situation.
Pivot.
And investing
Absolutely.
energy there is so much more powerful than preparing for something that may never happen.
100%.
So true. So true. Because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't.
It doesn't happen, and then you're exhausted, and you're almost disappointed. I spent a
Yes.
lot of time preparing
Yes.
for this thing to go bad, and it didn't, and it's
Yes.
like,
Yeah, that's why I consider myself an optimistic nihilist. Where
Okay, expand.
Yeah.
so
Tell us more.
Yes, please. Let's dive into
just
that.
as a philosophical overarching and underpinning, it's like, yes, everything is going to hell in a handbasket sooner or later.
Right.
On a long enough time horizon, all of it. However, I do believe in, the human spirit and our ability to pull it out of the ditch.
Yes,
The
okay.
question is, will we, and will we do it in time? So it's like,
Okay.
the absolute.
I get it.
Yeah. So
Fair point.
Yeah. Long enough time horizon, forget about it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're just, we're just
it's what it
hairless
goes.
apes running around with chainsaws and flamethrowers.
So if I'm unpacking that for me, I'm thinking you're saying everything's negative. You just got to choose what parts you're going to make great.
yeah.
Kinda, right?
And the
Choose those
idea
moments.
of everything in the macro, entropy. Everything everything falls apart over time.
Yeah. Right.
However, the idea of the optimism and it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm having fun. It's exactly what you guys said, where it's like, okay, how can I build this like little insulated universe of my own, this little pocket universe that I'm around the people? Because like, if you see me and Lance at the studio, I mean, it is like, we are the R word, not to get, it's like, we just act
Crazy.
retarded, and
I was going to say toddlers.
Yes.
yeah, if they were also,
I was going to say ridiculous.
if they were also challenged.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So here's what I do. If I'm going on a vacation, I know that everything's going to go wrong at some point. But I will go ahead before I leave and say, here's 3 to 5 things. As long as these happen, then this vacation was amazing. And everything else doesn't matter. And so I try to set the expectations. Like, I'm going to come today, I'm going to hang out with friends, I'm going to have a good time, or maybe we're going to help people. That's the goal. So whether something breaks or doesn't work, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I like it.
I hit my expectation points.
And so I love being around the folks. They're the Ashleys of the world who are cut from the same cloth, where it's like, just be careful. There'll be holes in the sheetrock before
yes.
too long.
Yes.
Or-
Coming in
You guys
hot.
had a party in here?
There'll be the
Ashley.
the Lances and Michelles that are just like agonizingly conscientious and like
There's a
wanting to
list.
prepare- Yeah,
There is a
prepare.
list.
Yeah,
Oh, and then there's me that's like, hey, I'm live today at the studio. Check
Yeah,
everybody out.
which
Is
I
there
love.
something in my teeth?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you figure it out later. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
it's
there
all
was
good.
something in my teeth. Well,
broccoli.
but like with Lance, my operating philosophy with him is, and I'll be like, oh yeah, dude, that's killer. Just remember, nobody cares.
Poor Lance.
But like there, I'm trying to like just retro or even like proactively talk him off the ledge.
Yeah.
Because like he was doing the show last week, and he goes, dude, I woke up at midnight, and I just like started putting down some ideas. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Or just come talk.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, I love that. How about less formal, you know, and just kind of.
So what I'm hearing is when I create my little list of questions that I send you and Ashley every week, I should probably just send that to Lance. At least then I know it'll get read.
Yeah.
Well,
I
here's
think
the
at
thing.
least someone would review it.
Here's the thing. I love that you do that, and I love that you do that, like basically natural, au natural, where it's like that's your kind of like holistic.
That's my thing.
Baseline.
Yes.
Where. And that's why you would make an excellent coach, and that's why Ashley, whenever you're like, she's like, oh, I didn't do that, right? You know?
Don't think she did anything.
But
on
what
my
is
list.
great, when you figure out where your center is and the things that help you prepare.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes when we try to project that on other people's, when we get disappointed.
Yes.
Yes.
And
But as long as we know where we're at.
And as a coach, that's what I have to be cognizant of is not everyone is going to be like me. Ashley's never going to make a list. Poor Ashley. She's not even here to defend herself. But she's never going to make a list, but she's going to pick up tips and she's going to manipulate those in a way that works best for her.
Right.
And then hopefully grow and make a list.
Well, yeah, and the idea that you meet people where they are.
Yes, exactly.
And, you know, so years ago, whenever I was the CE guy or whatever, I used to think, okay, well, if I didn't shoehorn some nugget of information in every, 45 seconds, that I was ripping people off.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would turn out to be like, oh, no, it's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel overwhelmed, and then they feel stupid, or like they're not.
You can't
they're
give
not-
them too much.
Yeah, and then they hate you.
Yeah.
Because you elicited this negative feeling that was
Right.
really coming out of a good place.
Yeah.
And then it turns
Yeah.
out.
But you were hitting triggers in them that you didn't
Yes.
realize
Well,
you were
it's
didn't
hitting.
even know they
it's
were
too
there.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, I used to go to the Ebby Halliday offices out in the hinterlands, and it's like the little ladies were so nice up front, and they're like, "Oh, we're so glad you're here," blah blah blah. And then you'd get those anonymous reviews,
Yeah.
surveys.
and it'd be like, "Slow down." It would look like a
Talking
ransom
too
note.
fast.
Yeah, it'd be like a ransom note or like a serial killer. Slow down.
We hate you. Stop.
They loved me. They loved me.
Yeah, and it'd be like, wow, okay, what did you? But that actually got me the thick skin to realize, like, okay, my approach wasn't necessarily good for them,
Right.
And what I thought doesn't really matter, and that kind of goes back to the whole thing about the coaching and the on video. It's like, if the audience likes it and it's natural for you, it doesn't matter whether or not you like it.
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's what you're not making videos for you.
Yeah, you're not the audience.
You're right. You're making videos for other people. And like my mentors and coach, sometimes they'll be like, nah, it looks too much like the 10 o'clock news. You need to be like, social media is social.
Yes.
Sorry. So you have to connect with people on that level.
Right.
And
That is absolutely the missing ingredient for 99% of the folks that get on camera. They have this sort of almost like stoic.
Yes.
yes.
Very
And-
formal, trying to be very professional.
Yes.
Nobody wants a formal professional realtor on camera.
Right.
There's place
when they're
for that.
writing the contract, yes, but
Yep.
not on camera.
Right. Or
At
or-
11:30 at night, when I'm like watching a cat chase a dog and I'm trying to go to bed and then I see you, I just want you to talk to me.
Yeah.
right.
And connect with me.
To Cory's philosophy, it matches mine, because I always said whenever we're making content, it's like, I want what's on the label to match what's in the can. So
Yes.
that way, when people actually meet you in real life, what you don't know is if they've watched 20 of your videos,
That's good.
You're
Yeah.
already halfway there.
Absolutely.
They think that they know you. And then if you turn out to be this wild ass, like whatever, hyperactive, and you actually are on
Right.
camera like a robot, they're gonna be like, who is this
Yeah.
body snatcher person?
And they
that-
won't hire you.
Right. Because now they think
They're
they think you
expecting
are
an
fake.
engineer type to show up, and you're a party animal. and
Yeah.
they're
Right.
like- It is funny. When people have this weird smile, it's like and you're like, oh, you've been watching my videos for about 2 months, because all of a sudden you become. It's weird, but if you've ever had a favorite TV show, there's a character that you just connect with, and you think you're friends with them.
Right.
And you
that
take their
know them.
mannerisms. And yeah.
And so suddenly, when they start to see you, and I think everybody inside has that little bit of wants to be a star and wants to do it. So either they will appreciate that and love you, or the ones go the other way. They're so jealous they will knock you
Yeah.
out.
And then to that, I would say nobody that's doing better than you is going to be critical.
Right.
Yep.
And that's another good point.
And
yes.
embrace the haters, because
Yep.
the algorithm does not care if that comment is a plus or a negative. It's just like people are talking. So, and your people will start to fight against those people that say negative, and all of a sudden your video blows up and you don't know why. That's what it is. It's the comments, it's the engagement, and that's what they want. So I'm like, as long as that person's not being abusive or anything,
Right,
you're
right.
But I'm like, don't worry about that one. Look at all the others.
What's the
absolutely.
saying? No, all press is good press, or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it
no
kinda
such thing as
is.
bad
Yeah.
publicity.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
I did a thing this morning about it's not. You know, they say like you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with.
Yes, and
But-
that's so true.
And it's true. And I think even the next step is that you're the average of the people that you let influence you.
Yeah.
And sometimes we choose really bad people to influence
And that's
us.
where coaching is important, because if you're in a
Absolutely.
room of positive people, that even if when they leave the room they're not so positive because life isn't good, but if we're in
Right.
the room and we're being positive and we're finding ways to encourage and lift each other up, that's going to go out into your workplace,
Absolutely.
and into your family, everywhere. So I think that's super important.
And I find it on video because I'm stepped back from it. You're like, our clients are right in the middle of it. So when they step back, I can point out all the good. They just see the negative. For you help them step back and look at things at a more holistic approach of, hey, this is all good. This is what you need to do. Don't worry about that. And it's like, oh, okay. You know,
Yes.
a better roadmap.
And are we able to announce that we are going to have the Cory Show? Does it have a title? Is it
Yay.
going to be Cory at Random?
It's going to be Cory at Random. We'll
Love
stay
it.
with the coaching program.
Love it.
So that is
Excellent.
coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lining that up.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about the coaching program. You've got a great membership.
I do. You know what it is? It's
Spill it.
growing, and
Yeah.
we've been building the infrastructure. And basically, it's $20 a month, and
Amazing.
for that, you get to come on. There's 3 Zoom calls a week. They're live Zoom calls. You can come on, ask questions. A lot of it is community to be encouraged. You know, get that energy together. Then there's also a library of tutorials so that you can learn how to edit stuff yourself, overcome camera confidence issues, break all of that down. I put templates in there each week, as well as links to like, hey, this is a viral video, make yourself do this, and bring that in. And then also I've started another real estate show. So I'm highlighting properties for real estate agents right now. And
that's
that is
exciting.
growing, you know, so those are getting thousands of views right now. So that's
Oh
pretty
yeah, we
exciting.
need to get
Yeah,
Michelle on that
fabulous.
on that
Ooh.
on that
Absolutely.
bandwagon.
I've got
Yeah.
some listings.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
for sure,
We've already
right?
got
I've
all
got
of her
some listings.
content.
So that's
Yeah.
what we need to do.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm having a great time and
I love
trying to.
it.
It's growing fast, but I'm wanting that infrastructure set so that we can take care of everybody.
How are you managing your time? You know, I got to ask that.
Yeah, absolutely. I manage.
Do you have a list?
Today, so I am a show up and let's party.
Yes,
I'm more like Rick.
yes.
However, when people are counting on me, I'm not. So today was planned last night so that I make sure I know everything that needs to be hit today, where I need to be, what I need to do, the things I need to hit my travel, my 5 expectation
Yes,
points.
yes.
And then I'm in a good place. I think if I don't do that, when I go home at night, I'm anxious. I don't feel like I've got things accomplished. I need to be doing more. But if I can look back and say, hey, here's the things you said had to happen today, then I'm okay.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Love
That helps me center. But yeah,
Awesome.
the video coaching is great. It came out with, I am a movie director, so I've directed actors, and I'm like, oh, I can get the best out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned on this, it is, as you work with, it's this psychology of knowing it's okay to put yourself out there.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of times, folks just need permission.
That's
Yes,
it. And
yes.
that's what we do, is we give you permission to do it
And have a good time with it.
and have a good
And
time
find
with it.
your most authentic
And
self.
mess up some.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the best videos,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to edit everything down to this perfect, and I'm like, no one's perfect.
And again, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
I always
cares.
tell everybody, you're not the leading character in most people's movie. You're like just
That's
a
good.
background actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
sometimes
good.
you'll wave at them when you walk down the street. So I'm like, don't put yourself at an expectation that you're that important, because we're just not.
We're just not. We're just not. What else is coming up, guys?
Well,
Guys, I don't get to say that. Guys.
We've got. Okay, so Wayne, there's the thing at Metrotex on the 1st, which is the Millennials and Legends
Oh, yeah, I'm
deal.
not in that.
Okay.
I'm not in that.
Not in that part.
Yeah, I'm
No, We
neither.
won't be there.
I'm neither. We got Winning Women's Wednesday
We
times
do.
2.
We do.
That's
we do.
awesome.
Yeah, East
Having a
and
blast
West.
with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I come be a studio audience on that sometime? I'd
Yes.
love to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We've got
And
room.
if you want to
Awesome.
hang out, yeah.
And that's in
Jump in.
West, right? That's
Yeah.
in the
We do
studio in
both.
Colleyville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
excellent.
best.
Yes.
So fun.
So that's cool. And there, the algorithm loves the live.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna. So I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna endeavor to do more live stuff.
Yeah.
But suit up and show up.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And thank you
That's
guys.
life, showing up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
show up.
Thank you
Great
guys for
things
suiting
happen.
up and showing up today.
Yeah. I'm
This was
excited. I'm
great.
excited. It was so
Yeah.
fun. Thanks for
All
having
right.
us.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Take us out, Peter.